Hi, I just wanted to share with you a way that you can create your own natal chart and therefore be able to follow along when I do post about new moons or full moons and find out where your ascendant is, or also embrace your sovereignty and be able to reclaim your power and understand exactly what's going on your natal birth chart without having someone else do it for you. By all means, I am more than happy to read natal charts, synastry charts, transit charts, or anything for you, even Saturn return charts and even solar return charts. So I'm just going to very quickly and very easily show you how to have a look at your own natal chart and bring it up and be able to understand it as easily and concisely as possible. So I'm on AstroSeek, so that's www.astroseek.com, and you go over to free horoscopes and then click on birth natal chart online calculator, and what that is going to do is going to bring up a system whereby you need to enter the date, time and place of your birth, because with astrology everything is relevant to the latitude and longitude, and it is all down to the seconds and the degrees. And that is why I believe that no two people on the earth are the same, because everyone is born at different times, even twins are. So if we go for today's date, for example, which is the 22nd of May. Someone was born the 22nd of May 2024. Gone too far then. At 11:11 a.m. How's that? 11:11. So that's right at this very moment. And then I am in Warana, so I'm just going to put Bocarina because I know that this doesn't have Warana on it. Bocarina, Australia, and then you'll be able to see Bocarina, Australia, and the longitude and latitude. So I click on that and then click calculate chart. And what that's going to do is going to bring up a chart. I use Placidus system personally. I do read perfections based on whole sign systems. However, Placidus is more time orientated, so sometimes especially if you're in the far northern hemisphere or far southern hemisphere, the houses change. So I am going to describe that to you very briefly, and that way you're going to be able to understand and how to read this chart as on the simplest form as you can. So should someone have been born at 11:11 on the 22nd of May 2024 at Bocarina, which I'm sure may have just happened, their ascendant is at 9 degrees of Leo. So you can see the 9 degrees here. So that is the sign that's rising over the horizon from the east. And then we go through the signs backwards. So that's obviously the middle of the day. So if you're born in the middle of the day, you'd expect to see your sun somewhere up here. If you're born in the middle of the night, you would expect to see your sun somewhere down the bottom here. So that's what the sun looks like if you can follow that cursor there. So right now the sun is conjunct Jupiter and also Venus, Uranus, Mercury, and that is in Gemini and Taurus there. So the ascendant here, so when I talk about your angles, what I'm referring to specifically is the ascendant, the IC, the descendant, and the MC. So the ascendant is the zodiac sign that was rising on the eastern horizon at the time of your birth. It represents your outer demeanor, physical appearance, and how other people perceive you. So for me, I have my sun on the first house, even though it's in Taurus, so people see me as quite bubbly and bright and things like that, and I have been told that quite a few times. And then the descendant, which is on the opposite side, is exactly opposite the ascendant, and it represents your relationships, your partnerships, and how others interact with you, especially on one-on-one situations. So for me, I have Pluto there, which is the same as this person would have as well. So everything that I kind of go into is quite deep and dark and mysterious and transformative and things like that. So it's completely opposite to the sun, and it is in Scorpio for my chart, and I do interact with people one-on-one a lot better. So that is obviously evident there, and this person would as well. And then there's the IC or the Imam Coli. Now that is first known as the nadir. It is the point at the bottom of the chart, and it represents your roots, your home life, your family, and your inner emotions. It also pertains to your lineage and people that came before you. Sometimes it also is relevant to your mum and both your parents' lineage. And then the MC has relevance to your dad because it rules over the 10th house, which is the father figure in your life. And so the midheaven is up here. It's the brightest part of the chart. It's where midday is. When you were born. So basically, it's known as the medium coli, and it's the highest point, like I just said. It represents your career, your ambitions, and your public image, and how you're seen by the world. So I have Saturn up here, so I'm very, very hardworking, and I don't think that many people would not say that about me. I'm always giving something a go. So that's how I've seen. And then I've also got Aquarius as the ruler up there, so people see me as someone that's very different, and I do know that about myself, and I'm actually proud of it. So for this person, they've got Uranus and Venus in Taurus up there, so they're going to be quite eccentric, quite let your freak flag fly sort of person, and there is going to be a lot of wealth. They're going to have a lot of wealth because obviously you got that your Taurus energy and Venus energy as well. So they're going to be very materially well endowed, and their mum is going to be very close to them, but there is going to be some transformative experiences occurring in their life with their IC. So I'm trying to keep this short, and I'm sorry I have so much information to share that I'm not actually keeping it as concise as I could be. So I'm just going to quickly rattle off what the houses are and what they pertain to in your life, and so you'll be able to see that for yourself. So the first house represents yourself and your personality. You'll see that here. And so the first house ruler here is Leo, and that is also talking about the early childhood. Then you've got the second house that pertains to the finances, the possessions, and the values and levels of self-worth within your life. The third house talks all about your communications, your siblings, your local tribal, close neighbours, very close community events, and the likes. And also how you go about learning on a superficial level. The fourth house is all about your roots and your family and your home. It is on the cusp of the IC as well, generally speaking. So it also talks about your inner emotions as well. So for this person, their IC is in Scorpio, so it'll be very, very deep and transformative for them. Then you've got the fifth house. The fifth house is all about creativity, romances, children, and self-expression, and that is in Sagittarius. So they're going to be very bold and beautiful and benefic, and they're probably going to have the most beautiful children. But then if we were reading this chart, we'd look at the rulerships and what aspect the ruler is making, which is Jupiter. And then we've got Capricorn. Capricorn is the sixth house, and the sixth house pertains to the house of health, work, routines, and services to others. Sorry, my phone keeps going off. And services to others. And then we've got the seventh house. The seventh house is all about, like, again, the descendant energy, the partnerships, the marriages, the contracts, and also the open enemies as well. A lot of that has got to do with the sixth house as well. They're more the hidden enemies, and there is a lot. So if you've got your sun in the sixth house, for example, you would have to be focusing on your health in this life. My daughter has that, and yeah, we're doing that really well for her. And then we've got your eighth house, so Pisces eighth house, this person, and Neptune there, this person will be very mystical. So the eighth house is all about transformation, shared resources, sexuality, and the occult, because it's also ruled by Pluto. And then you've got the ninth house, which pertains to philosophy, higher education, travel, and spirituality. And then that moves over to the MC, or the 10th house, which talks about the father, the house of career, public image, how people see you, and authority figures. So someone who has Saturn, like myself in here, would look up to authority figures. However, I do have it in Aquarius, so I didn't get jabbed and I kind of did my own thing there, but that's another story. And then we've got the 11th house, which is the house of friendships and social networks and goals and aspirations. And then the 12th house, which is the house of secrets, the subconscious. It's also bed pleasures and sex and things like that. So someone with their moon here would feel loved by having sex. Venus here would really enjoy it. So there's a lot of different energies that play out through there, and also spirituality. So someone with their sun here, for example, they would probably work in hospitals or asylums of some description, or where people, or correction facilities and things like that. So it's really interesting how everything plays out, and how so when we do read a chart, we're looking at the house, the planet, and the rulership of the house cast, the degrees of the house. So it all has its own story to tell, and it depends on, there is so much that can be interpreted by one chart that it depends on what you're really looking for as to what you want to get out of it, because it could be endless. So anyway, I hope that helps give you a starting point as to how to look at astrology, how to go in and create your own natal chart and be able to examine it for yourselves, even try it for your children. If you're looking at your children, I would recommend looking at your moon, because if you're looking at your children, the moon is the mother, so that would be pertaining to you and how you relate to them and what they need from you. Looking at the IC as well, because that is all the roots and the foundations. And then also looking at what's going on in the 8th and 12th houses as well, because they are the hidden houses, and they are the houses that you want to be able to help them bring to light as well. Obviously looking at where their sun is and helping them with education through the 3rd house and Mercury and the energy of Gemini as well. But I'm not going to go too far into that. I'm just going to leave this as it is. And if you have any questions, of course, please do feel free to let me know. And I hope this helps you on some level. Okay, thank you.